Well, guys, President Biden cannot take this back now. Breaking news from President Biden on his student loan forgiveness program.
Folks, I want to give you an update on my student debt relief plan. But right now, it's on hold because of these lawsuits. That's why the Department of Justice is asking the Supreme Court of the United States to rule on the case. But it isn't fair to ask tens of millions of borrowers eligible for relief to resume their student debt payments while the courts consider the lawsuit. For that reason, the Secretary of Education is extending the pause on student loan payments while we seek relief from the courts, but no later than June 30, 2023, which would give the Supreme Court an opportunity to hear the case in its current term. Payments will resume 60 days after the pause ends.
Yep. President Biden definitely cannot take this back now. All the details on President Biden's student loan payment pause and student loan forgiveness program in this video, including why some financial education experts recommend making payments even during the pause. And we also have some very exciting stuff in today's headlines. We've got Attorney General Merrick Garland on Friday appointed a special prosecutor to oversee criminal investigations related to former President Donald Trump, and Donald Trump being allowed back on Twitter. Everybody's got something to say about it, and he hasn't even tweeted a word yet, surprisingly. But you know what? If they're going to really dig into Trump's investigation, maybe they should also dig into the Biden investigation with equal intensity. What do you guys think? Should they look into Biden and all the other government officials just like they're doing the Trump? What about Pelosi's husband's shady stock market dealings? There could definitely be something there, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Drop a quick comment down below. All right, so the Biden administration just extended the student loan payment pause, and it's a pretty long extension. Now, until after June, or when they're finally able to move forward with the administration's debt forgiveness plan. You see, student loan bills were scheduled to resume in January, but the federal appeals court ruled last week to impose a nationwide injunction on the debt relief plan. Now, before they blocked the program, 26 million Americans were already able to apply for it. 16 million already got approved for the $10,000 to $20,000 checks. Now, this is a lot of cash flow to just pause just like that. As Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said in the statement, quote, "We're extending the payment pause because it would be deeply unfair to ask borrowers to pay a debt that they wouldn't have to pay were it not for the baseless lawsuits brought by Republican officials and special interests," end quote. Shots fired. So the payment pause will be extended until 60 days after the Biden administration is allowed to implement its student loan forgiveness plan and the court case is resolved. So it almost seems like we have a potential indefinite student loan payment pause in place. Now, if they can't proceed by June 30th of 2023, student loan payments will restart 60 days after that. So August, I guess? Anyway, but financial education advisors say that you should make payments on your student loans if you can. They say, quote, "If you have student loans, you should start paying them down, but consider leaving that last $10,000 or $20,000 just in case the court cases work themselves out. The bonus of paying your loans now is that the entire payment is going to the principal. Now, if you're down to your last $10,000 of student loans, consider putting that payment into a savings account, ideally a high yield, high interest savings account at a safe savings bank that can either be used to put toward the loan once we have an answer on forgiveness," end quote. Now, typically when you make payments on loans, you're not only paying down the balance of your debt, but also the interest of your principal. So that means that borrowers who make on-time payments sometimes see their loan balances go up because their payments only cover a portion of the interest and don't fully reduce the principal or at all. Now, if you make student loan payments during the pause, all the money goes toward reducing the principal. This will help you reduce your debt more quickly and actually help you to become debt-free sooner compared to when you're on a regular repayment period, because you'll be paying interest on a smaller amount of debt when payments resume. So this means that you will pay less in interest overall than if you made no payments during this period. So yeah, drop $100 maybe, every now and then into your payments. You'll thank yourself later. But from what we've been seeing from President Biden, I've been hearing from a lot of people about how they're embarrassed of the president that's running our country. With all the investigations into Trump and President Biden, it's kind of hard to see how crooked these politicians really are, right? Basically, many are saying that they don't know who they can trust besides ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Many don't want Sleepy Joe to keep running the country. Now, at the same time, they don't want the vice president to take the job either. Y'all want Kamala Harris running the show? Let's see how all of these investigations go, including the case on President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Now, a group of Republican-led states recently argued that the Supreme Court should keep President Joe Biden's student student loan debt forgiveness policy on hold while the litigation around it continues to play out. And they use the fact that the Biden administration has extended its pause on student loan payments. They said in their filing, the Department of Education can point to no emergency or imminent harm because just yesterday, the agency extended the payment pause on student loans until the summer of 2023. The Republican states accused the Biden administration of relying on the C-19 pandemic as a pretext to mask the president's true goal of fulfilling this campaign promise to ease student loan debt. The policy was set to begin going into effect earlier this fall, but was blocked by the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in a lawsuit brought by Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, and South Carolina. They claim that in rolling out the program, Department of Education Secretary Miguel Cardona went beyond the authority that he has under law to cancel individual debts. They argue that the department violated administrative law in how it launched the policy. Now, on the other hand, U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar argued that leaving the program on hold leaves millions of economically vulnerable borrowers in limbo, uncertain about the size of their debt and unable to make financial decisions with an accurate understanding of their future repayment obligation. Just to show you what I'm talking about, here's a story I got from someone recently. For the first time since my children were young, 1992, I applied for food stamps. While illegal immigrants are getting plenty of government help, I, a disabled American citizen, was approved for $23 per month. Yes, I'm grateful for any help right now, but it infuriates me that people invade our country and get more help. Light up the like button if you guys can relate to this. Now, going into another hot investigation, the DOJ just announced a special counsel for the Trump-related Mar-a-Lago and January 6th criminal investigations. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to oversee the criminal investigations into the national documents former President Trump kept in his Mar-a-Lago resort, plus President Trump's part in the January 6, 2021 attack on Congress. Now, according to Garland, based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election and the sitting president's stated intention to be candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel, end quote. So they appointed Jack Smith, the former chief prosecutor for the special court in The Hague, where he invested war crimes in Kosovo. Trump, on the other hand, he's saying that the investigations are politically motivated. When he announced his bid for presidency, he also said that he was the victim of a weaponization of the justice system. Speaking at the American First Gala at the Mar-a-Lago on Friday night, the former president called the special counsel appointment an appalling announcement and a horrendous abuse of power. As for the assigned overseer, Smith said, quote, I intend to conduct the assigned investigations and any prosecutions that may result from them independently and in the best traditions of the Justice Department. The pace of the investigations will not pause or flag under my watch. I will exercise independent judgment and will move the investigations forward expeditiously and thoroughly to whatever outcome the facts and the law dictate, end quote. So they're gathering more information and bringing witnesses into a federal grand jury in the coming weeks. And according to the sources, some of the witnesses in this round, they had not spoken to the investigators in these cases before. But Trump had believed that federal investigations into him were slowing down or over until the announcement from Garland. He kept calling the investigations political and said that it was not fair, it wasn't a fair situation, and would not be a fair investigation. He told the crowd at Mar-a-Lago, quote, you really say enough is enough, end quote. Well, what do you guys think about this? Drop me a quick comment down below. Now, speaking of quick, Elon Musk sure didn't waste any time in allowing Trump back onto Twitter. So the billionaire entrepreneur who owns big companies like Tesla and SpaceX recently bought Twitter, and one of the first things that he did was launch a poll on whether Trump should be allowed back onto the platform. It was a pretty quick poll, and now Donald Trump is allowed back on his longtime social media app of choice, Twitter. Now, at the time, Elon Musk announced his decision. Around 52% of over 15 million respondents on his poll voted in favor of bringing Trump back, and 48% voted against it. A lot of conservatives are definitely cheering for this decision. Now, at the same time, other folks, they're not that happy. Civil rights groups like NAACP, the Anti-Defamation League, and Color of Change spoke against Elon Musk's decision to reinstate Trump. Now, aside from Trump, they also let back the other controversial and far-right public public figures, including Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and, drumroll please, Kanye West, also known as Ye. Inevitably, the series of decisions demonstrates the single power that Musk, the world's richest man, has over the major social media platform that he now owns. Trump's account went back online right after Elon Musk's announcement, and his tweets became visible again. But here's the thing. Ever since the announcement, President or former President Trump hasn't tweeted a word. Maybe he forgot his password. I don't know. He may have to click the forgot password link. Well, he said that he has no intention of returning to the platform. Big picture though, Elon Musk is basically saying Twitter's going to be a wild, wild west, and he's probably going to let people just say whatever the heck they want on the platform as long as it's not illegal. Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt tweeted that Elon Musk is not remotely serious about safeguarding the platform from hate, harassment, and misinformation, end quote. Then Elon Musk replied, quote, "Hey, stop defaming me," end quote. That's Elon Musk for you, right? Anyway, are you guys on Twitter? More on this and all of our other hot topics on my future updates. Don't miss it, you guys. Hit the subscribe button right now and also click that notification bell already. And heck, also follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter too. There's a link for my Twitter page on the top right of the channel. Anyway, check me out on there. Definitely a lot in today's Big Money Update and Daily News Report. President Biden extending the student loan payment pause until June next year, and why you should definitely consider still making your student loan payments on time. Anyway, the DOJ is assigning a special counsel on the Trump investigations, plus Trump being let back onto Twitter. I hope that we hit your personal finance sweet spot today. And if you're craving more, just check out the channel playlist section for all your favorites like Social Security, SNAP and EBT benefits, and how to make money before 2022 ends. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Even bigger thanks for hitting the like button. Same place, same time tomorrow. Great. I'll see you guys there. Y'all be safe.